Hi Cameron,
Hello.
how are you doing?
Good. Yes.
Thank you for giving some time to me to ask you a very important question, which I think many people might get benefited from. So I was wondering, like you having many years of coaching experience, if you wanted to share something with people, what would that be?
Hmm.
Something that maybe most of us could get benefited from.
Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure if most of you will get a benefit, but if I were going to talk about one thing that stands out for me from many years of coaching in many different countries and people from different walks of life, I guess one thing that is common, no matter where you live, no matter where I've coached, is people don't realize how important their mind is. People don't realize um, how we are driven by a mind that is habitual, and because we've been fused with that mind, we often don't even recognize it.
How we could recognize the mind, because this is
Yeah,
very
that is,
difficult for us, I would say.
well, it may seem difficult, but it's so necessary, so absolutely important to realize that we are driven by a mind that is active, that is constantly making decisions, it's constantly interfering with our experiences, and in that interference, it's creating results and impacts that we may not want. So, most of us, in a way, I could say we are victim of what the mind processes creates. And you don't have to be a psychologist, I guess, to observe this. You can simply observe it for yourself. So observation becomes crucial. So developing and observing, witnessing um, habit. It's another crucial sort of aspect to this.
Definitely. But mm, if you want to suggest the easiest way for observing thoughts, which I'm struggling at, I'm just asking myself, because I have this difficulty. Like I don't know how can I observe thoughts. Sometimes I'm thinking while I'm observing, I guess. Or maybe I'm thinking I'm observing and I'm not observing at all. So, what would be the easiest way that we could observe our thoughts?
Yeah, I guess any activity or non-activity that slows down the thought process, that's the most important thing. So see what works for you. For some people, it could be walking. For some people, it could be painting. For myself, it's been sitting down quietly in a place that I would not be interrupted and setting the intention. My intention for the next 10 minutes is to observe the mind, thought process, anything else I can do after. So for these 10 minutes, this is my intention. So that I've seen work quite well for myself and for many of my clients. So many of my clients who aspire to be a leader, they're emerging leaders or they're established leaders at senior levels. They recognize that their mind is not an ally. And for them to excel, they need a mind that is an ally. So the first thing we do, we create self-awareness. They become aware that they have a mind, we call it, that is distracted, is a monkey mind, jumps from one thought to the next thought, from one doing to the next doing, and this is not serving them. So first there's a realization that,
Absolutely.
yeah, that mind is not an ally. My mind, the mind is not an ally. So the way to work with that mind is not to deny it, is not to refuse it, is not to reject it, is not to judge it, is to befriend it. So hence, can you make space for 10 minutes a day to simply sit and observe this mind?
So, you mean by observing mind, we could become friends with it? That's what you mean?
You become you take a friendly approach first, then you can observe it. If you don't have a friendly approach, if you have a judging, critical approach towards what you see, you begin to see, then you cannot observe. You're not in an observing state. And that is the problem. People can become aware of their thoughts and emotions very quickly. Why they quit, why it doesn't work, is because it's actually working. You can begin to see what is happening inwardly, and then the judging sets in. I don't like this, I don't like my fear, I don't like my anger, I don't like to have a busy mind, and then they stop watching. So is there success that ends up actually discouraging them? You see what I mean? It's not that, yeah, they're not succeeding.
I see. So basically what you mean is that by watching like our thoughts and not judging them, we could become friends with our mind. Is that what you mean?
Very close. By sitting down to observe the mind, the first thing you see, if you're like rest of us, you begin to see that how busy the mind is. It's constantly churning out thoughts. Mind's reaction to that observation is to judge it. So I don't like this. I need to have a quiet mind. Now, can you also observe that? You follow what I mean? Can you observe that second thought, the second
Probably
judgment?
not.
Yeah. That's where most people fall into the trap.
Yeah, it's difficult for me. I don't know.
So the process is, no matter what arises, take it as another thought, including the judgment that I have a busy mind, I'm never going to become quiet, I'm not going to succeed. Just keep all those also as continuation of the thought process.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you could use a term, is like be a non-sticky frying pan. Don't let any of those thoughts stick. No matter what arises, just another thought. For now, for these 10 minutes.
Yes.
Can you do that? Yeah. So that's the commitment. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the intention.
Absolutely. Well, I guess, it's not gonna be an easy process probably, but if one could do that, it helps a lot.
Yeah, it may not be easy, but it's fundamental. It's fundamental. If people, if professionals want to have a mind that is an ally, I'm not suggesting I got one, I'm still working with that. This is a work of a lifetime, so that's another thing to not forget. It's not something that you're going to accomplish in 2 months, 3 months, 5 months. In here, time in that sense is not relevant, so it's just a process.
Yes.
So if we want to have a mind that is an ally, it's absolutely crucial that we begin to know our mind. We know our computers, we know our cell phones, we know our cars. We know more about our cars and cell phones than we know about our mind. Well, how is that possible?
That's true.
That is really, really, I'm perplexed. So how is that possible? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's absolutely crucial, yeah.
It is crucial.
Hope that answers your question.
Yes. It's just, I guess, it's important to know, because this helps us, but majority of the way is on us, right? Because you are the one who should practice this and put an effort to be committed so you could get the result, right? So basically it's our responsibility to take our journey and take it to where we want to take it, right?
Yeah. Well, yes, it's a responsibility. Yeah, if we want to be more and more responsible, then we need to develop an intentional mind. If you want to be responsible, then no, we can continue.
I like the responsible.
We can continue our reactivity. That's a responsible person does.
Yes,
It just produces
true.
the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Like habitual. So, but if you want to be responsible, then our relationship with the thought process, with the mind, needs to be transformed.
Thank you so much for your time. It was great.
I'm glad. Yeah, glad it was beneficial.
For sure. Thank you.